Indian fatigue. A growing sense of frustration and exhaustion felt by many Canadians, including people from a variety of ethnic backgrounds, in response to disruptive behaviors or controversial practices associated with certain segments of the Indian immigrant community. This feeling often stems from Canadian cultural norms being repeatedly disregarded.
Canada is changing fast. Jobs lost, homes gone, crime on the rise, and a transformation no one in power wants to talk about. Is this growth or a takeover? Today, more than 1 in 4 people in Canada was born outside the country. But in recent years, one group in particular has been at the center of both praise and controversy: Indian immigrants, particularly from the states of Punjab and Gujarat. This isn't just a gradual demographic change, it's an unprecedented wave. In 2024, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, approved over 382,000 temporary resident permits for Indian nationals, making up 45.8% of all permits issued that year. Cities like Brampton, Ontario and Surrey, British Columbia have been transformed. Walk through certain neighborhoods and you'll find entire commercial blocks dominated by Indian businesses. Grocery stores stocked with South Asian spices, restaurants offering authentic Punjabi thalis, clothing shops selling saris and sherwanis. For some residents, this is a vibrant reflection of diversity. For others, it feels like a cultural takeover. Local politics has also shifted. In Brampton City Council, for instance, multiple members are of Indian origin, reflecting the community's electoral strength. Supporters call this democracy in action, communities electing leaders who represent them. Critics argue it risks creating ethnic bloc politics that prioritize the needs of a specific community over the broader population. This transformation sparks 2 contrasting narratives. One sees it as Canada living up to its multicultural ideals, a welcoming place for hard-working newcomers chasing a dream. The other warns of cultural displacement, where long-time residents feel like strangers in their own cities. Many Canadian-born job seekers say they've faced closed doors, especially in industries dominated by tight-knit Indian professional networks. In trucking, logistics, and certain sectors of tech consulting, job postings often circulate informally within community WhatsApp groups before they ever appear publicly. Some Canadian job applicants share stories of sending out dozens of resumes, only to be interviewed by hiring managers who immediately ask about language fluency in Punjabi or Hindi, even for jobs where it's not strictly necessary. While defenders say language skills help serve certain communities, others view it as a subtle filter to hire their own. Building networks within their community, they say, was a survival tactic, one that any group would use under similar pressures. The impact, however, is undeniable. Statistics Canada data shows unemployment among Canadian-born workers in certain immigrant-heavy regions is higher than the national average. In Brampton, for example, youth unemployment has been a persistent challenge. While no study directly links this to Indian hiring practices, the correlation fuels the perception. The fair conclusion? Hiring bias can cut both ways, and addressing it means pushing for transparent, merit-based recruitment across the board. That's not just a Canadian versus Indian issue, it's a fairness issue for everyone.
It's not our fault that white people are lazy, okay? We are just saying the truth as it is.
We visited several Walmart, Subway, and KFC locations across Toronto to see who's really working there and whether these concerns are warranted. Let's get into it. First, let's check out Walmart. We visited multiple locations and found something odd. The Indians seemed to outnumber any other ethnic or racial group. Just to ensure we were accurate, we extended our volume and went to even more Walmart locations in totally different parts of the city. Not only did we see Indian employees at the cash registers, but also in customer service, stocking shelves, and even in management roles. It's clear that Indian immigrants are an important part of Walmart's workforce. After visiting over 35 different Walmarts across Toronto, here's what we found. We saw a low diversity score of 25%, with a large proportion of Indian employees compared to other ethnic groups. Customer service was rated a disappointing 60%, with many staff not saying please or thank you, and some interactions felt impolite. Language accessibility scored 70%. We found elderly customers had a harder time understanding accents of some Walmart staff members. After factoring all these elements, Walmart's overall performance lands at 51%. Very disappointing. What do you think? Does this reflect the reality of your experience? Put your Walmart score in the comments below. Next up, one of my favorites, Subway. At the Subway restaurants we visited, we observed Indian immigrants working across a wide range of roles, from frontline sandwich artists and cashiers to shift leaders and store managers. Their presence extended to positions in food prep and even behind-the-scenes roles like maintenance workers. After visiting multiple Subway locations, here's how things stacked up. In terms of diversity, we saw a very low score of 20%, with a large proportion of Indian employees, barely any white, black, or other ethnic groups, making staff diversity noticeably limited. Customer service scored 50%. While some employees smiled, most were not polite and professional. Others didn't meet expectations with basic courtesies like thank you and come again. Language accessibility wasn't better, scoring 60% as most staff communicated ineffectively. There were a lot of communication barriers. With these scores combined, the overall performance at Subway lands at depressing 43%, even worse than Walmart. And last but not least, it's a crowd favorite. KFC, or as my dad used to call it, the bucket. We visited a whopping 22 KFC restaurants, and let me tell you, what we found was jaw-dropping. Language was a real problem.
3-piece chicken combo chaos order.
Yeah. Thank you.
If we had to count the non-Indian immigrant workers across all these locations, we'd need just one hand. Yes, you heard that right, one hand. And guess what positions they had? Well, the lucky few were either flipping chicken or manning the drive-thru. The rest of the staff? All Indian immigrants holding everything from cashier to shift supervisor. It felt like the KFC team was all on the same page. And that page may not be written in English. At the KFC locations we visited, we found some pretty surprising stuff. Diversity in staffing scored a pitiful 16%. If there were any other races working there, they were probably in the secret KFC underground because we didn't see a single one up front. When it came to customer service, we gave it a 60%. Some employees were as polite as your grandma offering you cookies, while others made you wish you ordered from the robot kiosk. As for language accessibility, we gave it a 45%. Most could speak English, but you might need a second interpreter if you wanted to understand the special of the day. In the end, KFC's performance gets a laughable 40%, which is about the same as their mashed potatoes. Creamy, but definitely lacking in substance. Have you noticed similar trends at your local Walmart, Subway, or KFC? Or is your experience totally different? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Is this happening near you? What's your experience with Indian fatigue? What bothers you the most? Remember, Canadians are watching and reading, so drop your thoughts in the comments below.